Let's now take a look back at Jessie Duarte's life.
So it doesn't affect this.
She may have shot to national prominence in the last 2 decades or so, but Jessie Duarte was very much a veteran of the African National Congress. Shortly after struggle icon Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990, she became his personal assistant. That in itself shows how much she was valued in the liberation movement.
She was an amazing activist inside the country, taking on the apartheid regime. She was harassed, and she has basically lived her life in the struggle. That has been Jessie Duarte. And it was natural, I think, when the unbannings happened and the release of the leaders happened, that a person like Nelson Mandela would bring her close and make sure that she is there, she was connected to the ground.
Not only that, Duarte was present when young freedom fighters needed her most.
The first time I met her, I was a student, and because the police were looking for me, so I ran away from home. Then there was this lady that was assisting us now to avoid being caught by the police, and also assisting us in establishing alternative organs of people's power, the self-defense unit. And I asked myself, such a bright person who can have a better life from what we are trying to do, why?
The answer lies in Duarte's passion for equal human rights. This was demonstrated in many ways, including her unapologetic solidarity with the people of Palestine.
There was a deputy board of Jews that wanted to isolate her out of the ANC, to say, you carry these strong views. And she said, I'll rather be out there rather than leave the struggle of the people of Palestine. So she was a very strong believer on something.
And that strong conviction stretched to her daily work at Luthuli House.
In 2018, when I assumed the position of national spokesperson, it was Comrade Jessie, in her capacity as Deputy Secretary General, who invited me to HQ to come and break the news. She immediately took me into a briefing where she was to now announce my appointment. It was not an easy one. And from that moment, she made me understand that I am not the spokesperson of a certain grouping in the NEC. I speak for the National Executive Committee.
I'd like us to stand for a moment.
But before the Jessie Yasmin Duarte everyone knows, she was a daughter first. Born and raised in Coronationville, west of Johannesburg in 1953, she went to school in the same area before joining the ANC in 1979. She later served in various party structures, including the Gauteng Provincial Executive Committee, the National Executive Committee, and of course, the Top Six. At some point, she was the spokesperson of the governing party. Duarte held several government positions. These included Safety and Security MEC in Gauteng, South Africa's ambassador to Mozambique, and Chief Operations Officer in the presidency.
She kind of went into the wilderness after her exit from the provincial government here in Gauteng, and got into some unfortunate incidents. I think at some point she got employed in the presidency and had some fights with, or didn't get along with Lakela. And so, and she had to leave, and there was a spat as well with Carl Niehaus was a spokesperson of the ANC. She kind of, got lost and was followed by controversy. But she managed to recover in that she became deputy SG of the ANC. That showed her strength, I think. It's very easy for people to disappear when we encounter all those challenges. She's quite a feisty woman.
Most respect for you. The last time you attacked me with Stevie and I called you, hi, Gogo DSG, hi, Mom DSG. And I respect you for that. I respect you as an elderly woman who's around my grandmother's age. Just like I respect Gwede Mandashi, who's around my grandfather's age.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Thank you very much. The next time you need to interact with me, you put it in writing. You are just a journalist.
I'm just a journalist in South Africa. And I never fought for this.
South Africans witnessed this feistiness at ANC press conferences, where she would sometimes have heated exchanges with journalists.
But you know what? At the end of the day, after she has had a vicious fight with the journalists, it would all be made up again. But I mean, but that's the Jessie that a lot of reporters will also always remember, kind of like that.
It is the end of an era. What's left for her comrades who converged at her Johannesburg home to pay their last respects are lessons and memories.
She was somebody that will see something that majority of us will not see or witness. She was somebody, if something is red, it's red. If it's blue, it's blue. She will not beat about the bush. So she was strong and fearless. And she was a pillar that ensured that everything stayed.
If there was ever a moment that I felt was important for me, was her making me to believe in myself. And I'm sure I speak for many other young people who might have crossed paths with her.
Polagaje, Johannesburg.